Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome to the SBP. We are here with you on this Turkey Day to pick today's games and tomorrow's Black Friday game. As always, I'm your boy Prime, and I got my guy Didge with me. Didge, what's up?
Oh, happy Thanksgiving to you and to everybody out there. It's a good morning. It's gonna be a good day of football.
Man, yes, it is. Yes, it is. We were talking the other day, and I was contemplating what we're going to do the show today, which is awesome that we are, because I don't think Source and I haven't done one the last couple of years. I think it's when we first started, we did them. And
Yeah.
then I think last year, I think they had something planned that they were trying to get done before they got back to the house and finish up everything. And then the year before, I think he had to help somebody with something, and I also
Okay.
need to get back in time to do is the fried turkey. So
Yeah, yeah.
now we had a couple of shows a few years ago where he actually was tending to the turkey while we were on the air. So he was outside
Yeah.
and everything hooked up. But I believe he said he's doing on a turkey trot or whatever you call that joint today.
Yeah, I think so. I think he didn't seem too happy about it.
He didn't seem too happy about it. But one thing about Source, if it's something that that his wife Nicole wants to do, or if it's a family thing, I guess he's gonna jump in it. It's
Makes
a
sense.
family guy. Mad respect to him on that. But yeah,
Right.
he's less than thrilled. I can't wait to hear the exploits uh, on that come Sunday show to see what went down. Did they actually see a turkey? What actually happened. You know,
Right. Like are they walking is it a path or walking through the woods? What kind of turkey trot they doing?
did he have on walking shoes? Did he put on some Timbs? Like what we do?
Right, right.
Hey, something else I didn't notice either, and I was way off. So I was thinking, and we're good anyway, but I was thinking that the games would start at like 12 or 12:30, but it looks like the game will start till 1 o'clock today. That's on my end. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's 12 your end.
I definitely thought the game started at 11 my end. So, I mean, yeah, like you said, definitely good timing.
Yeah, I looked at it and I was this morning. I was like, yeah, how much time do I have? Because I should have this down by now because I told you I do the same thing like every year.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not we do a show or not, I get in here, look at a couple things in the morning, and then I got my traditional like two movies. I watch the Turkey Bowl, the movie called the Turkey Bowl.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yep, and then I watch the Waterboy.
Mm.
Yeah, and what I do is usually during the 1 o'clock game, I'll have the either the second TV or iPad or whatever on, and I'll have the sound turned down low, and I'm just kind of watching the game. I might turn it up periodically here and there, but I get those two movies knocked out before the 4 o'clock when my Cowboys play. And of course, I
Nice.
gotta have sound up when the Cowboys play. So
Yeah, yeah. I get the same thing. Most years, I usually cook the duck for my family, and most years I just really realistically throw it in the rotisserie. So I'll usually at least get that started around the early game, whether or not the Packers are playing or not. It depends on how loud the TV is going to be. Because usually I'll cook it at my parents' house, and
uh-huh.
my dad's like same with you. Sound got to be on for the Packer game. Um, but we're gonna eat a little later this year, so just because the Packers are the first game, he was like, I'm not cooking this early, and I'm not cooking during the Packer game, so we're gonna eat a little later this year. So I was like, all right, well, I don't got to cook the duck until a little later.
Yeah, we're normally Cowboy kickoff time. I think last year we made it eating a little bit later. I think we might have started getting plays together right around or just after halftime. But definitely, I'm usually around about Cowboy time when
Mm-hmm.
I eat. Now I do know we had a few years ago that my family did eat early, and we ate early, and that was just because back at the time the health of my grandmother at the time, and back at my family house, somebody always had to be with her. So what the family did for a few years running is we did eat early, and I'm talking early. I mean, they had food ready like around about lunchtime ish, but that was also one, uh, get more people that want to stop by and see the family and maybe even see my grandmother. But
Yep.
two, if you got the in-laws or somebody invited you to the crib, you got time to go spend time with us, and then you could go dip and do the later thing. You know what I'm saying? So there was a few years that I was actually out there eating, turkey and piece of ham or whatever at 12, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we've had that. My mom, she used to like to get out to go to Black Friday shopping, and I mean get out there. She was one of the 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I'm out there at the store. So every year she's like, look, if y'all gonna come over for Thanksgiving and y'all gonna eat, we eating that one, we eating that two, because I need to be ready to go to. Especially when the store started opening at like midnight.
Yeah.
She was like, well, her and my aunt, they're like, well, we got to get our plan together, so we got to start planning at like 7. Meaning y'all need to eat at like 2 so we can be ready.
Shoot. Speaking of Black Friday, man, I'm glad it's not like it was back, way back in the day. I don't know if you had a chance to experience. I don't know the time period and era you came up in, but man, I was telling the guys, a couple of guys, younger guys that work for me, and I was like, man, y'all don't understand. Y'all might have heard the stories, but you don't understand how serious Black Friday was to the point when people were actually fighting over stuff in the store. And I'm talking, there's videos, you can go on YouTube now and see live videos of the poor guy that's opening the door at midnight because there's like a Cabbage Patch doll or something, and he's opening the door at midnight. The second he opens the door, he gets trampled. Like they're fighting over TVs, throwing punches in the middle of the floor. Walmart, like this is real.
Yeah,
like throwing punches, bro.
It used to be insane. I never personally experienced, but like I said, my mom, she's been going pretty much my entire life. So there were the years where she'll tell my dad, like, there's this hot ticket item, you got to come with me because I don't know what's going to happen. And so it'd be her, my dad, and my aunt. And they going out there. My dad just out there as muscle. So
definitely needed, because I've seen the video where the poor security guard got torn off, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, big dude. It was one video. I don't know if it was, what store it was, but they had 2 security guards. One guy just got in go. I couldn't see him anymore. So many people rushed. Where these TVs were. There was another guy, big dude too, and all I know is he went down and I couldn't see him anymore. All I could see was people.
He was probably fighting for enough, and then once he get to enough people, they just overwhelm him.
I'm not doing this Black Friday.
Right.
I don't care what y'all. You get somebody else to do it, but I'm not doing it. So luckily I don't have to deal with that, man. I don't, get out in the Black Friday rush. There was a time period that I would like to go out. I would be bored. This was a while ago, and I'd be bored. And I'm just gonna get out here and just see what's what. But nowadays, especially the places around here where I live, and we got an area called Short Pump, it's bad enough being in Short Pump when it's a regular day. Going there during the holidays and Black Friday, you just might as well just throw your whole day away, because if you're not, the traffic is ridiculous out here. And it's a big shopping. It's a lot of money out there, but it's a big shopping area.
Yeah, I don't like to go out for it. I did it a couple of times. Most of the time now, if I do need something, I'll go out at like, noon, 1 o'clock the next day, where it's like the rush is over.
Yeah.
I may not get all the biggest deals, but I'm not out there for, much anyway. So
yeah, I think the one that and Christmas Eve, because I made the mistake one Christmas Eve when it was, I guess, a few years ago, the last time that Christmas Eve was on a Sunday, I made the mistake of going to that area I'm just telling you about, in Short Pump. It's about 15 minutes from here. And I call myself getting out early. And keep in mind, it's got a mall and all that stuff. Traditionally, around here, malls are open till like 10, but it's Black Friday. So places were opening at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. So I'm thinking, I said, you know what? I've been good, man. Like, I took care of everyone. I'm going to buy something for myself, which I do every year when I have some money. Like, I deserve it, man. I work hard. I give everything I got, my last, my family. I just do that. But if I ever have a couple of extra dollars, it could be something as simple as a DVD set. It could be a new baseball cap, whatever, And I decided that particular Sunday that I was going to go out. And it was an NFL Sunday too, which was crazy. Ooh. So it was an NFL Sunday, and the Cowboys were playing. It was either the Giants or the Eagles. It was one of the two, the division opponent. So the game, of course, not going to kick off till 1 o'clock. I leave my house early. Now it wasn't like 7 o'clock. I think I left my house about 9:30. Got there before 10 o'clock, and I did some shopping. And I don't know if you guys have it there, but Short Pump is one of the malls that we have that's still around. That's an outside mall, pretty much.
Yep.
So it's huge. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of high dollar stores in there. But then and then mixed in with some medium level stores. But it's huge. So you're walking, and it's enclosed. Like the top of it is covered, but there's two levels. So when you're
Okay.
walking, it's like you're walking in the center of all the stores. Like there's a Macy's at one end, like this super far end there's a Dillard's. So and it's quite a walk. Tons of stores. So when you're walking, everything, it's a roof over top of you.
Yeah.
But the center, if you look down, and in the center is like a gigantic courtyard.
Yep.
So people might go to the mall and don't even shop. They just might go sit in the courtyard or get something to eat. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I went out there, and of course you see some things, and next thing I'm gonna grab this. I got something for myself, and then I always end up getting something extra from my mom, even though she tells me, "Don't buy me anything. Don't spend it on this, do that, whatever." But I bought something. By the time I got out of there, I'm thinking I got time to go home and see the game. Man, I walk out to the mall parking lot. The mall parking lot looked like like an abandoned shipyard, there's a bunch of stuff in it with nothing moving. And I'm sitting here in the mall parking lot. Literally, it takes me 30 minutes to get anywhere near where the street is. Like, I'm not moving.
Oh yeah, I hate going to the mall when it's close to Christmas time. My last day at the mall is usually because I still go to the mall to do most of my Christmas shopping, but I have to have it done a week before Christmas because that last week, December 18th is usually all right, you can't go to the mall anymore because it's just gonna be packed.
Yeah, and that make it so bad, man. That Christmas Eve was. So fortunately, that mall area and just outside the mall is a bunch of other shopping. But then we had just opened. Do you guys got World of Beer down there?
We used to. The location by is closed.
Okay, yep. So we got, we were one of the, we were late in getting World of Beer, which I found out years later, but which is one of my favorite places now. Which means that at some point or another I'll be disappointed because it won't be there. Every time I love it, it won't be there. But we had it for 3 years now. But World of Beer sits in the next parking lot beside the mall. And as I started creeping towards the street, I had one more left I could make to not turn on back onto the main road, which turns into the parking lot of where World of Beer is in the movie theater. And I'm looking at my clock. I said, if it's taking me 30 minutes to get out of this parking lot, I know how long it's going to take me to get home just because this fighting to get down the street is rough enough.
Yep.
And I was like, man, the heck with it. I'm not making it back. So I just took that left at the very last chance that I could. And I almost couldn't make the turn because I was almost past the turn. And I turned into that parking lot. And I remember calling home and I was telling my girls, look, I'm going to stay out and eat, whatever. I'm not going to, traffic is crazy, whatever. It was cool. And I went inside World of Beer. And because I wasn't going to make it home, I wanted to see the whole game.
Yeah.
And I went way before the game even kicked off, but I just knew. And I was mad.
Traffic was
sitting in the car wondering what's going on with the game. Be my luck. That's not the game that's on the radio. I'm like, nah. So I turned into World of Beer. And needless to say, around about 4:30 or so when the game was over, it was still traffic, but it wasn't as bad because I think a lot of people had gotten in there and gotten out. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't take me super long to get home as if it would have if I would have stayed out there that morning trying to fight back. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, no, I have never been out actually shopping on Christmas Eve, but my dad has, and I've seen him and my brother we try to meet up as a family to do our last gift wrapping at the house together, and there was one year my dad and my brother, I guess they needed one last gift, and so we're over there early in the day, and my dad and brother all right, we're gonna run out, we'll be back in an hour. We didn't see them till 6 o'clock. It was crazy.
Never again.
No, that was exactly what my brother said when he came in. He was like, I never do this again.
Shout out to my man, the Don Mega, my brother in the chat. Happy Turkey Day to you as well. Yeah, no doubt. My guys out there are here checking us out this morning. His Niners don't play today. But
Niners coming off a good win, though.
Yeah, I know he's happy about the Niners win. He ought to be happy, even though the quarterback struggled. He struggled hard. I mean, that's a team right there. We've been talking on the show. We got how are they still doing this?
I still don't know. I still like watching that game. I was like, I just don't understand it.
What's the old song, the spiritual? They believe in what is it? We shall overcome.
Oh,
That's what they play in that locker room. Because tell me a team that's overcome as much as the 49ers this year. There's been some teams that have been through some injuries and some things, but the Niners,
it's what's so insane about it is on one hand, you could be like, clearly y'all strength and conditioning coach need work because it's like so many injuries. But on the other hand, y'all development is clearly amazing because it's like next man up and next man up coming and just like, all right, cool, we back at it. Like
we're gonna have all these injuries, and a quarterback gonna come back and throw 3 picks and a half, and we still gonna win.
Yeah,
we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and we're gonna give our injury prone running back, who's one of the best in the league when he's healthy. We don't care. We still gonna give him 30 carries. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we gonna do.
He took all the health from the rest of the team. That's why he everybody else is getting injured because he taking like the Space Jam ball. He got that, and that's all they injury.
I said we live to fight another day. Yes, y'all do.
Dude, it's crazy.
That is crazy. But I know that I know you got them some FanDuel lineups ready. I know you're going hard today on that. We got a little something popping here in the SBP. So we got the annual lineups for the set for the FanDuel for Turkey Day. What I'm mad about though, and I'm surprised nobody caught it. That's usually in the weekly FanDuel. That I call myself jumping, getting ahead of the game. And I got the FanDuel ready for everybody, pushed it out there. They were only showing the games for today.
Also, they don't include the Black Friday game?
That's what's crazy, because last year we had an issue and they didn't. And, people was hitting me in the inbox. Yo, bro, why you didn't put the Turkey, the Black Friday game, this, and the third. So this year, I'm just thinking they're doing it again this year. So I said it. Folks get in it, get everything set. I go back yesterday and they were offering today and tomorrow together.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, man, now we got a lot of busy people in the SBP and they're busy just like me. I said, I know what's going to happen. If I cancel this one and I put it out there, tag everybody and the whole night, everybody's not going to see it.
Right. And then
somebody be mad with me. Wait, bro. And we're going to be, So I didn't mess with it this year, but I know next year I'm going to wait at least a day or so to see if they do that.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to get both games. Yeah, then I'm telling you, FanDuel, to be wild. And they weren't offering the Black Friday game at the beginning of the week, just the Thanksgiving joint, joints. But now you can do all of them. So I jumped in one with one of my buddies that is including both days. After I brought it up to him and I think some of his co-workers. But yeah, we just got the Thursday thing popping off. So folks going to have to really be on their game with players they picking today because it's limited. Something else, Didge, man, before we get into these games, I got to really look at what's going to be fun picking out games for Sunday because honestly, it's not going to be like a bunch of great games. I guess it's going to be some storylines because this lineup today and the game tomorrow, like
it took all the marquee games pretty much for the week.
Yeah, I mean there'll be some decent some games in that's gonna be worth talking about. But if you're thinking about the Cowboys and Chiefs are playing, the Eagles, we've been talking about the Bears the past couple of weeks, and they're in there playing. Of course, Detroit, Green Bay.
Yeah,
I don't know who the Colts have. I haven't looked at the whole schedule, but I'm just saying.
Colts play the Texans, so that should be a really good game.
Entertaining. So that's definitely good. Who do you guys got?
We got the Giants on Monday night.
Oh, y'all playing? Y'all messing with Jameis, huh?
Yeah. Who knows what's gonna happen that game? Like, with Jameis starting, it could be anything. He might catch another touchdown pass. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I should have pulled a video. Did you see the video when he was telling reporters about his Thanksgiving? About what he
No.
Man, I wish I had you, man. You gotta find that man. Listen, Jameis is a gem, man. Like, what I'm saying? Listen, he's talking there about the Cajun turkey and all this stuff, and it's funny. It's funny.
I saw this TikTok that was like, Jameis is too powerful to only be beholden to one team. The NFL needs to give him a special contract where if there's any team that just need a quarterback for the week, he just got to be able to suit up and go in because he's too powerful to be on one team.
That is wild. That is wild. But yeah, one thing good for the Giants though is they know, if nothing else, they know that they've got their backup. I mean, next year too. Like they got their backup quarterback. So all the questions that for the Giants now, and who's coming back healthy, who's going to be the coach, what other things they need to tweak. You keep Jameis as a backup quarterback
for sure.
Yeah, you got to keep Jameis as a backup quarterback. I was hollering for Jameis over Joe Milton. So
I know you didn't like. Well, no, I didn't know.
No,
I
didn't know like you Joe Milton. I was happy with Joe Milton with the signing, but I just watching him in the preseason on multiple occasions, and I don't know. Things can change.
I get you.
Things could change. But look, we were talking about Thanksgiving. We were talking about shopping, all that stuff. But we got a treat today, man. We got 3 games today. We got 1 game tomorrow, and all of these games could be really good. And they could be really good.
And all of them have super good playoff implications.
Yes, indeed. So let's get into those, man. And we're going to start in order, the way that they're set up to be played. Okay. And we have the first game today, of course. We have the Packers and the Lions going at it. And you mentioned playoff implications, definitely playoff implications. The Packers, of course, 7-3-1. The Lions are 7-4. And I was thinking about this, man. I was like, both teams with respectable records.
Mm-hmm.
We've been kind of keeping an eye on the Lions, though, because they've had their ups and downs. Do you realize coming into this week, do you remember how many losses they had last year coming into Thanksgiving?
They had 1, right? Or they're undefeated?
No, 1 loss.
Okay,
they had one loss coming into Thanksgiving. So they're sitting there with 4 losses now. So I thought that was very interesting when you think about it. I don't know if a lot of people remember that. And, of course, the Packers at 7-3-1. I've told you guys how I felt about the Packers. I just don't know which Packers I'm getting every week.
That's fair.
I expected the Packers to be a little more dominant overall than they have been in a lot of these games. But 7-3-1 is it's nothing to laugh about. That's still a darn good record.
Yeah, the Packers are interesting this year. The teams that you expect them to dominate, like the Browns and the Panthers, both of them they lost to. Their offense seems to disappear.
Yeah.
At the worst times, but when they rolling like last week, not even the offense actually wasn't great last week. What I mean is when the defense is rolling like last week, they can put up a gem like what they did. I mean, look at what they did to that Eagles offense a few weeks back. Obviously, I've said enough about JJ McCarthy. Holding the Vikings to 6 points isn't as big a deal as I thought it would have been because JJ McCarthy's not great. He needs a lot of work, but it's going to be an interesting game. I don't know. I'm still trying to think who's going to win this because I think that week 1 result is just you could throw that out the window.
Yeah.
That was a lot of I think Detroit's best players being rusty, and Packers coming in amped, fresh off the trade, and all of that. I don't think you're going to see the exact same type of game as you did then.
Yeah, it's hard to call this what type of game it's going to be because both teams have changed just a little bit over since the last time that they met.
Mm-hmm.
But we look at what just recently transpired. You mentioned the Packers defeating the Vikings. The Lions had a struggle with the Giants, though. Like
they did.
I was really believing around by the third quarter. I said, the Giants going to win this game. I really I said, Giants are going to sit here and they're going to beat the Detroit Lions.
It looked like it for a second. Like again, you never know what you're going to get with Jameis out there. Like I said, he was throwing for touchdowns. He was catching touchdowns. I'm surprised he didn't run for one. Like he did everything he could to get them that victory.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna win that, man. He actually played a really good game. I mean, all things considered, man. They
Didn't the Giants play the Packers the week before that?
was it the week before? I think it was within the couple of weeks. Was it the week before?
I Let me double check.
Yeah, check to pull that up.
Because I was gonna say they played the Packers very close.
Mm-hmm.
It was week 11.
They had that late interception. I think there might have been a miscommunication, but I think James didn't play that bad naked. Like they, the Giants got promise, man, and they got some promise, but the Packers and the Lions had their problems with them, with the Giants. Mm-hmm. And that kind of goes back to what we've been talking about, especially with the Packers. We don't know, which team is going to show up. Is it a team that just flops? Is it a team that wins is not dominant? Or you can have a week when they're actually dominant.
Yeah.
So you just never know. This one, man, I think I feel this is one of those games where I feel like we see the thing that does get Goff in trouble a lot, or when we see him not at his best, and that is when he's getting pressured, though. I don't know what's going to happen. I just feel like this is one of those days that we're going to be hearing Micah Parsons a lot. Now, we may hear Micah Parsons' name a lot without a sack. He's the king of pressures. If nothing else, he's the king of pressures. You can say what you want.
He leads the league in pressures.
Yeah, he does lead the league in pressures. It's one of those games I feel like we're going to see a lot of Micah Parsons on our screen. I don't know who else is going to show up to the party on that side of the ball. They've got some ballers over there, but I feel like their game plan is to definitely get the pressure on Goff. And if they can do that without, just running, their base defenses and not having to do a whole lot of blitzing, that will help them in their schemes that they're going to try to use to try to slow down Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's going to be their issue. That's what they're going to need to be able to, because he can get the ball 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and next thing you know, he walking in for a touchdown. So
yeah,
that's going to be the issue for them, is how quick can Jared Goff use him as sort of like the dump off pass.
Yeah, I think how they handle the stuff when they get inside the red zone, as far as the Lions as well, because I'm trying to remember, was it last year, I believe? Montgomery's had a couple of decent Thanksgiving Day games. So, I don't know unless Gibbs is out there breaking something long. One of these days where they work down the field and Montgomery get a few more touches too, especially when they get inside that red zone. He's played pretty well. Last year, they struggled a little bit, though. They beat the Bears. It was 23-20. And that game went to the wire. Remember, that game went to the wire. I think it was maybe a turnover and a couple of bad coaching decisions in there that ultimately probably helped coach, cost the old boy his job. But, yeah. But I'm hoping this game is as entertaining as we want it to be. Last year's Detroit game was actually entertaining at 23-20.
Yeah,
but I'm really hoping that we're getting everything, you would expect from two division rivals, from two 7-win teams at this point. I want to see the strategy in this. I want to see how each team employs, their defenses. Lions are still trying to get healthy.
Yeah.
They're still trying to get healthy, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But it ought to be entertaining because I think that these are two of the better football minds in the National Football League. Now I know a Packer fan who don't agree with me. He don't like your boy over there.
I was gonna say LaFleur, I'm not so sure anymore. Coming into this season, I would have agreed with you.
Right.
Obviously, having the chance to talk to a lot of Packer fans and watch a lot of games, I'm kind of turning on that. LaFleur kind of coaches a little too scared. He coaches, and I think we were talking about it last week. LaFleur, he coaches a little too to the book. He's afraid to make the tough decisions sometimes.
Right.
He's very much all right, I'm going to run first down no matter what, run second down no matter what. All right, third down, we got to pass. And like, he's very textbook about it. And then when that doesn't work, it feels like he's like, well, we got to stay to the playbook instead of, okay, let's pivot in the moment. And obviously it works when you're winning, but some of those losses really do boil down to he made the wrong decision at the wrong time.
Right.
And that wrong decision always seems to be because the right decision is there, but it's a risky decision and he doesn't want to risk it.
That's going to be something to watch today because both of these coaches are gamblers, though. You know, we've seen that tricky fourth down.
Yeah, Dan Campbell is the other side of that coin where Dan Campbell is, all right, I'm going to make any decision any moment. We'll see what happens. So I think both of them have their faults in that. But I guess in general, yeah, you're right. These are definitely two of the better football minds.
Yeah, decision making could be a little shaky at times.
Yeah.
So I know Goff is hoping to duplicate what he did last year or best it. I mean, he had a decent game in that win, 221 yards, 2 TDs last year against the Chicago Bears. And I think they'll take that every time, especially if they are running the football well. The one thing that, if I was to look at both, and I've been going back and forth, like, how do I think this game is going to go? I just don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen. Have you seen? Is Jacobs playing? Have you seen anything about Jacobs?
He's slated to play, I think. Let me double check.
I haven't seen his name pop up anywhere about not playing.
Yeah, he's expected to play.
Expected to play?
But I mean, Keyshawn Nixon is probably out. Quay Walker might be out. Like they still got a lot of injuries on the Packers side too.
Ooh. Something to watch there. The Lions, though, we talked about them having one loss coming into the Turkey Day last year. This year they're sitting there at 4. Respectable record, but did you realize that the 3 games that they struggled from top 10 defenses, the games they lost?
Yeah,
they played. You think about it, when they played the Eagles top 10 defense, they lost to the Eagles. When they played the Chiefs were top 10 defense. They lost to the Chiefs. And, of course, the Packers. They lost to the Packers by 2 scores.
Yeah, it's even when you look at, like, who they've beat, their standout – because, like, they obviously went into Baltimore and won. That's never easy, but that was during the midst of Baltimore's struggle.
Mm-hmm.
The Buccaneers – I think we were talking about that before. They're really just fighting to stay healthy at this point.
Yeah.
That might have been the start of that. They looked really good doing it, but it's the Lions. You're like, who have they beat this year? And you're kind of like, I don't know what kind of team you are. Like you're obviously good, but are you great? And to be fair, I think you can kind of say the same thing about the Packers. They've won some really good games. But it is a lot of like they beat the Lions, and if we're questioning whether or not they're great or good, that's their biggest win right now. Like so, it is a lot of the same for them. I think it's a good barometer for the NFC North, but is it a good barometer for where they're going to go for the playoffs? They both lost to the Eagles, so
yeah.
I mean, where are you against who the teams that you know are the marquee teams in the league? You know, we'll see.
Is this game the bigger for? The Packers or the Lions? Who needs this game the most?
I'm going to Packers. Both teams are probably going to make the playoffs regardless. I don't think it's because of that. The Packers still got to play Chicago twice. I don't know. I'm not all in on Chicago. But you got to respect the 8-3 record. They still have to play Denver. Baltimore is super hot right now. And those are really their next 4 games. So it's like you're starting on paper, a gauntlet. Whereas Detroit goes after – I mean, the Cowboys, they have no slouches either. They got the Cowboys and Rams their next 2 games. But I'm not as high on the Steelers. And they've already seen the Vikings and the Bears to end out their season. So at least they're going up against teams that they're familiar with versus the Packers on paper. This is probably the gauntlet on their schedule where it was the Eagles obviously having to reprieve a couple weeks with the Giants and Vikings, but then going Detroit, Chicago twice, Denver and Baltimore.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, that's a tough stretch. So it's
That
like
is a tough stretch.
you need to stay on the roll here and not get out of the game because you could very easily mess up your season during this run.
Yeah, I think it's a bigger game for the Lions, man, because you think about it, they would have been swept at this
Yeah,
point by
fair.
Green Bay. And if you go back during this stretch of teams like wild card teams making it to the Super Bowl, it's only two teams that's ever done it. You got to go
Yeah.
back to 2010. That was the Packers. Packers did it, and you go back to 2020, the Bucks. Yeah, so only two teams have come in as wild cards and have to make that road run, on the road and make it to the playoffs. I make it to the Super Bowl. So, and no mistake about it, there are Super Bowl expectations in Detroit.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, there a lot of people had them as their team. If they weren't picking the Eagles to go back and repeat, Detroit was right there. Most people had these two teams playing, maybe playing in the NFC Championship game, and then the Packers were lingering, of course, but of course those odds didn't really shoot up until the Parsons trade, But yeah, I think the Lions, man. I think both teams will make the playoffs, but they can start looking at their division title hopes just dwindle away today.
Yeah, that is fair. I mean, I'm actually looking at the NFC standings, and the playoff race is a lot more rough than I thought. As of right now, just on the nature of they haven't played as many games as the 49ers, Detroit is 8, San Fran is 7. But San Fran pretty much has the better conference record, and it's probably cemented because they're 8-2 in conference, whereas Detroit already has 3 losses. So, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a rough road for whoever loses this game. Obviously, Carolina and Dallas are both still out there fighting, and one more loss here for either team essentially puts, especially the Cowboys, if they we're gonna talk about them later, but if they eke out a victory, that puts them within one game. Carolina, they have 2 losses. They have 2 more losses on their schedule, but they're still within fighting distance. So that 6, 7, 8 seed, like 6, 7, 8 range, is a lot more jumbled than I guess I thought.
All right. So who do you like today? What's your score?
I'm still picking the Packers. Okay. I think it's going to be much closer than the last one. I'm going to go 27-24.
I'll tell you what's crazy. Let me tell you what's crazy. I'm jumping back and forth with what I want to take. And I want to take the Packers in this one. I don't know what I'm going to get from Love, man. I don't.
I mean, that's fair.
I don't know what I'm going to get from Love, and that's the problem. I think the defense will play well. And I think, he can have some flashes there. And I expect Goff to be rushed a lot.
Yeah.
In his gameplay. That's why I think the Lions try to simplify, not only run the football, but, get Gibbs involved just as much in the passing game as we've seen in a lot of games where he's not holding the ball as long. And to me, it just feels like one of those maybe one crucial play situations. I agree with Don. He says they got to get Williams going early, and that one I agree. They didn't get him going the way they wanted to last week, but
Hutchinson got to get a tackle. He didn't get a tackle their first game.
Yeah,
he got to get early and get out there.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the 27-24 too. And I'm going to take the Lions, though. I'm going to take the Lions in this one. Everything in me says the Packers are going to find a way to do this. I just Love is disappointed me a few times this year and at the wrong time, and that's just why I'm kind of hesitant.
No, that's fair. I fully get it. Either way, I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like this is going to for sure be a close game. It's kind of disappointing to me that this is the early game, because if I were ranking the games, I think this is the game I would have wanted at the night. I think on paper they were expecting going in that Cincinnati was going to be better than they were.
Yep.
I'm assuming they also probably thought Baltimore wasn't going to be where they are. At least Baltimore is hot right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like just the way that the years went, that should have been the noon game,
Yeah.
and this should have been the night game. But
You
you
think
know,
you think the Detroit people would have gone for that? You switching their time?
I feel like they would have. I feel like they would have liked to have a primetime game on Thanksgiving.
You never know. And people are fun. They got people planning their whole day around this. Like,
Yeah, that's
hey,
fair.
people in Detroit are like, hey, we're gonna get up, we're gonna go tailgate. Because I
Right.
know I would if I lived in Detroit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I had the money, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I'd be out there bad boy 10, 11 a.m. tailgating, drinking beer. Like, I'm out about every year. Like, I'm planning for this. Like people plan to go to MSG on, when the Knicks have Christmas game. It's gonna be 12 o'clock game. Detroit is different. Like, I think people plan their day around it. They go to the football game. They come back, take a nap, and they back home in time to eat.
Yeah, you could be right.
You got the food ready the day before, or just the boys and the guys in the family went, and Uncle Rip and all of them went and came over and went, and then a lot of the ladies may have stayed home and while she didn't finished up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a tradition, man. That's like the Cowboys. I really wonder, not that people care. Well, other than networks care because they bought that money.
Yeah.
But and ratings, but I don't know if you could. People gonna watch regardless, but I don't know how well it would be taken if you would have moved the Cowboy game out of that 4:00 slot, 4:30 slot. You know what I'm saying? I think that people just gotten used to doing, whatever. The masses outside of Texas, they'll be a little bummed for a minute, but if you move them to the night game, it'll pan out. It's going to do numbers regardless. But I just think those two teams have kind of gotten entrenched in their fan bases, especially the ones that live, in those cities and surrounding cities, have gotten used to probably routine.
That's fair.
So one thing for sure, if I lived in one of these cities and my team had a tradition like that, I'm without a doubt not working the next day.
Oh yeah, 100%. No,
I'm not working.
There's no way.
Yeah, because my whole day, I'm gonna wear myself out that whole day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be crazy. But I don't, and I have to work tomorrow, so it is what it is.
Dang.
All right, so you've got we both got 27-24. I'm taking the Lions, but you're taking the Packers.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, that's what we got. Next up, we're just gonna keep them in order. I was gonna save this game for last just because it's our standards, the big game, but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get right into it because a lot of people are expecting big things from this game, especially the networks, man. The networks, they're reporting that this might be like this one might break records, like the most viewed.
Yeah, game. I heard that.
Yeah, and every year it seems like we're saying at the end of a game, so this was the most viewed. This was the most viewed, but they're really talking about the numbers that this game right here is going to do. Hey, Don, I got you. Don got Green Bay 24-23.
Ooh, you got it super close. I ain't gonna lie, it does worry me knowing what the Packers special teams is, that we got them coming down to a field goal. Like, ooh, that does worry me a bit. But I think they lock in today and they end up pulling that victory out.
Indeed. All right, Cowboys and Chiefs set to go at it. Both teams coming off thrilling victories, I guess you could say, last week.
Man,
the Chiefs coming back from a 20-9 deficit, also scoring 11 points in the fourth while holding the Colts scoreless in the fourth to force overtime. And then, we got to see some Mahomes and Kansas City Magic. There towards the end, he finally found his connection down the stretch with Rice again, made some crucial plays, and that's why there's so many similarities with these teams, right? Because you think about Mahomes and Rice, that connection was so crucial late in that game for them to get the victory. Dak and Pickens was extra crucial.
Yeah,
the Cowboys coming back from 21-0 last week, so. both teams winning games that they really needed to have.
Yes, that was a crazy. Like I did not expect when Philadelphia was up 21-0. I was like, all right, well, that game's over. Went about my day, and then come back to see later that the Cowboys won. I was like, oh man, maybe I should have stayed tuned in.
Yeah, absolutely wild game, man. Absolutely wild game. But I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, of course
I
you
like
did.
both games. I'm being
Of
honest.
course you did. Yeah.
I like both games in this one, but this one is crucial. Chiefs, they just won in a row from the Cowboys have now won 2 in a row, and what I'm going to be watching in this game is going to be again the defenses. Look, we know what you're going to get with Dak. Dak has played out of his mind at home. Hopefully that doesn't change. Mahomes is Mahomes, right? Yeah. I mean, it's you can never count them out. Whether they blow you out or they got to make a comeback, they are what they are. But I'm watching the defenses, especially on one hand with Kansas City. What is their game plan for the Dallas Cowboy receivers? I'm assuming that CeeDee Lamb is going to catch the ball this week because they're not playing Philly, right?
You hope so.
Yeah, they're not playing the Eagles. You see what the Eagles have done in both games this year. He just decides he didn't want to catch the ball when he plays the Eagles.
Yeah.
So what kind of defense do they employ? Are they going to try to double one of them? Because if you're going to go at Pickens, there's no way you can leave CD one-on-one, right? And if you're going to try to double CD, you can't leave Pickens one-on-one. Then if you do, Cowboys got a pretty darn good tight end as well. It might be his time to eat again. He's been quiet the last couple of weeks, even though he had a couple of nice catches last week. But it's going to be the defenses. And I want to see if Eberflus mixes anything up, because the thing that scares me the most is if, being a Mahomes fan, is I've watched him, he eats up zone defenses. Mm-hmm. He eats up zone defenses. And Eberflus refuses to come out of that zone. The Cowboys play zone more than 70% of the time during games, right? So something's got to give somewhere. And he's going to probably have to figure out something. But I think last week we did see some flashes on what the Cowboys defense, at least their front, could be. We didn't know how to take the Cowboys against the Raiders because it was the Raiders. But last week in that second half, especially late, different names were popping up. I mean, they were double teaming. They would double team. One guy, then you get one-on-one with Odigizua. He comes up the middle. On the outside, Clark comes. They move Clark from the middle to the outside on a couple of plays. I love the way they mix that up. And Kansas City is going to be down one of their best offensive linemen, as the Cowboys is too. Both of them missing a key offensive lineman, but it's going to be interesting to see how the offensive lines hold up and how both of the defenses play.
Kansas City also missing a cornerback too, which goes back to what are they going to do against CD and Pickens? That's going to make it a little bit more difficult. This is honestly, this is a must win for both teams. I think Stephen A. something, I don't really follow what he says, but I know he was saying that he doesn't think it is, but he's clearly wrong. I mean, Kansas City is sitting at 10 in the AFC right now, and even all things considered, the teams that are 6 and 7 both beat them this year. So they already are essentially, even though they're only one game back on paper, they're essentially 2 games back. Right. So it's both of these teams have to come in with some urgency. This should on paper be a very fire game. It's going to be very interesting to see how that homecoming is going to be for Mahomes. Like, is he going to come in and basically light up the scene? I already saw him talking about how many people he's going to have there, and some of the people who they can't always make it up to Kansas City. So being able to play in Dallas, play in Texas overall, and some of those people, they can be there for it. It'll be a homecoming of sorts for him, and usually that don't bode well for other teams. We know when the quarterback is coming in feeling good, especially a quarterback of his caliber. Whew, That don't bode well for opposing defenses. But I mean, Dallas's defense has stepped up. This isn't the Dallas defense that we were talking about 3-4 weeks ago. We were talking about they can't hold anybody or they can't get to the quarterback. They get into the quarterback now, and it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
I still don't know who I got.
the Cowboys going to definitely have to make Mahomes move, which can also be good or bad because we know what he can do with his legs. But they're definitely getting the pressure now. I've watched the past 2 weeks, especially last week. Philly meant that Quentin Williams wasn't going to beat them. They were double teaming the mess out of Quentin Williams. It was just a beautiful thing to see the other guys step up, especially Clark and Odigizua, and they got Solomon Thomas. Like they were actually getting legit pressure, benefiting from the fact that Philly was double teaming Quentin Williams. Every play they showed, every replay I looked, there's 2 guys right there on Quentin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So they showed you his impact. So I'm gonna take these 2. Y'all got to win these one-on-ones. But the Chiefs missing a corner is interesting, and that leaves my guy McDuffie out there. He's gonna have his hands full. Like what I'm saying, he's gonna have his hands full out there. So how Spagnuolo and them handle that back end is going to be really interesting to me. Like it's really going to be interesting to me. But man, I don't really know who to pick in this game either because it's just 2 teams. Like neither team can really afford the loss. I don't think that it's either team is 100% dead in the water if they do lose. But if you look at both of their schedules, there are some definite challenges that I really think the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys, if they would lose today, they really seriously would have to think about not I can afford one more and see what happens. I think they would have to run the table.
Yeah,
I think they pretty much, if they were to lose today, I'm thinking in my mind, we got to run the table now.
Yeah.
You got the slimmest margins that you could lose to, and because you never know what happens in other places and areas. But the mindset would have to be. The Chiefs would probably need that mindset. And I know we talked about what may or may not get them in. But looking at their schedule and looking at a couple of other teams' schedule, as funny as it sounds, you don't want to be there. But there is a path that you could still probably make it in with 2 losses. You may be the last seed, but you're gonna need some help. But I mean, teams gonna beat up on each other in this last month, month and a half or whatever. So you just never know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think. Well, actually, both are pretty. They need a lot of help.
Yeah,
I think it's worse for the Chiefs just because they still got to go down to that Texas defense who, quiet as kept, is, as we were talking about it last week, might be the best defense in the league right now. So still having to go there. They still got to play the Chargers and the Broncos again. Those are 3 very tough games, and I don't know if I see them winning all 3 of those. And so, like you said, a loss here, and let's just say potentially another loss there. That you're already at 7 losses. 7 losses isn't getting you to the playoffs in the AFC, at least the way that it looks right now.
Well, that's true. Now, the Chiefs, to me, the way I'm looking at it, the Chiefs' schedule is probably a little tougher to an extent, give or take a couple of weeks. Because if you look at Dallas, right? So after the day, they play Detroit. Now, we know it's Detroit and it's in Detroit. But we've already acknowledged earlier in the show that there are still some issues there in Detroit. I mean, there are some issues, especially on the defensive side of the ball in Detroit right now, outside of the pass rush. So what might have been a couple of weeks ago, I said there's no way that Dallas is winning that game. Dallas
could sneak away with the win there. Yeah, I give you that.
Minnesota, okay. I mean, we've already acknowledged, what the deal is, especially if McCarthy is quarterbacking, and I think he's out. I think he's not playing this week, but still.
Who they got at quarterback then? Because Carson Wentz is hurt too.
Yeah, I didn't even look to see who it was. I don't even know who their backup quarterback is.
I don't know. I'm gonna look that up while you talking.
Yeah, but you got Minnesota. Then you do have the Chargers. Now Chargers are up and down. Chargers can beat the brakes off you. Chargers can look mediocre. We've seen that. But then the Cowboys finish off the season with the Commanders and the Giants. And very winnable games. I'm not going to look past anybody, especially the Giants. I'm definitely not going to put the Giants, but this, the Cowboys have some winnable games. Winning this game today would carry them a long way because you would have to think that in at least 3 of the final 5 after today, at least 3 of those games, they're going to be favored.
Yeah.
Right. So this
Mike's QB is Max Brosmer. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He a Minnesota kid. He went to Minnesota for his last year of college, I should say.
Gopher, huh?
Yeah. So they in the world of hurt.
Wow. So the Chiefs getting Pacheco back today. So they're getting Pacheco back. So I don't think that Kareem Hunt has 30 carries this time. Andy Reid is probably going to mix that up a little bit.
For sure.
And, so we'll see how it goes. But I don't really know how I feel about this game. I really feel like the Cowboys could win it. But I know the Chiefs can win it.
Yeah.
I mean, we know the Chiefs can win it. I mean, what better way for them to, come out and win a game and make that 2 in a row for them and start to renew their hopes of them making that run and people believing in them.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting, man. It's going to be very interesting. I'll go ahead and tell you, though, just because I don't know, I am going to take the Cowboys in this one.
Of course, yeah.
I'm going to take the Cowboys in this one. And I think that there's a possibility for some points. But a lot of times when I've said there's going to be points in this game, and the games this year hasn't been any points. I'm thinking both teams are scoring in 30s, and we've gotten 23 to 20 games and things of that nature. And this could very well pan out for them, right? But it's Thanksgiving, and I'm just going to put it out there. I got the Cowboys winning this game today, and I got to do my ugly score. I do an ugly score. Got the Cowboys 32-29.
Ew, that is an ugly score. So these are top 2 passing offenses in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5 overall.
The Cowboys ain't defending nothing on that back end, so it's gonna happen. And then we're gonna try to take advantage of the injuries in that Kansas City secondary.
I'm gonna also go to Cowboys.
What?
I think Javonte Williams. That's who I've been trying to look at this entire time. I've been trying to see because obviously Kansas City has a good defense. I'm trying to see where's their run defense at, and their run defense is still really good, but it's not as good as their pass defense. Like, at least we're talking about on paper. I'd have to watch more Kansas City teams or Kansas City games to say for sure, but that it seems like teams are able to be serviceable in the run, and not necessarily yardage wise, but they're getting touchdowns. Like when you're getting close, they can sort of just get in.
Yeah. So
with that being said, Javonte Williams has himself a day for on here, and I was gonna go that 31-27 score that Don has in the comments, but I think Javonte Williams gets them that winning touchdown.
I like it. So we got 1 vote for Javonte Williams being the man, and we got a vote for Pickens with the game-winning TV. I just want y'all to know, I'll take any of that. I'll take, it don't matter. It can be Devontae Turpin with a return. I need something.
Now, look, if we jinxed your Cowboys, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm in on it, so it is what it is. So, what'd you say? Was it 30? What you got?
31-20. Actually, let's go 30-27.
30-27.
Yeah, we'll go 30-27.
So y'all in the ballpark. I like it. So we shall see. And word to Post Malone, who I believe is performing at halftime. So, Jerry.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And Post a Cowboy fan. So
didn't he do the Lions game a couple years ago? Wasn't that?
I believe he did. Was it him by himself or was he on stage with someone? He was there. I don't know if it was his.
I can't remember if he had somebody else on stage. I just remember being like, why is Post Malone at a Lions game?
Yeah, he's a Cowboy fan, so
That make it
we're-
even more weird. Why was he at a Lions game?
maybe they paid him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, get your money.
All right, next up, we're gonna go to tonight's game. We got tonight's game. We have the Bengals and the Ravens going at it. Bengals losers of 4 in a row, and of course, winners of 5 in a row because Source told us so. And now back in first place in their division, the Baltimore Ravens. So, and I agree with you what you said earlier. You know what the schedule makers were thinking when they made this.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting some hope back because Joe Burrow is back. Joe Burrow is set to suit up for the first time since what was it, week 2? I think he got hurt in week 2 or 3. He got hurt.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so out of much discussion about whether or not that they're rushing him back, should they bring him back? Joe say I'm coming back, but they're not going to have, you're going to get Jamar Chase back from suspension, but T. Higgins is not going to play because of the concussion.
Mm-hmm.
That quick turnaround, being the game is on Thursday. They said he might have had a chance to play. This was a Sunday game, but all things considered, bro, I still think this is going to be a really exciting football game. I do.
I don't.
Really?
I think there's going to be a lot of rust on Joe Burrow's side, and all things considered, I think the Ravens are they're playing too hot right now. Like I think Lamar's also has some type of injury.
Yeah, he doesn't look 100%. If you watch him, he don't look the same.
But that defense look a lot better. Like if we're talking, that defense it feels like they turned the corner. So I feel like these are two teams going in the opposite direction. Joe Burrow, while I agree if he's healthy, he should play. Like he was saying, like, you out there to play the game. You're not out there to put in hopes for next year. But I kind of think they really on paper putting in hopes for next year, where it's like, we don't want you to come in week 1 next year rusty. So we treat this like an extended preseason. We know even if we went out, we done lost 8 games already. We're not going to the playoffs. We just here to play spoiler. So let's treat this as an extended tune-up, so that way you will have some game ready action before we go all in for next year. And I think the way that the Ravens are playing right now, I don't see this being. I don't think it's going to be like a complete rout, but it's probably like a 2 touchdown victory.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, I can see Lamar lighting them up because that Cincinnati defense is trash.
That's an awesome point. They're not a great defense. Their offense is obviously a lot better now. Higgins being out hurts, but Burrow to Chase is a matchup for a lot of teams' nightmares. So I still think just that defense is not going to keep them in it.
It's a funny thing, though. It is a funny thing. We do expect the Ravens offense to have massive success in this game. You got to think, though, Joe Burrow, though he's 3-6 career in his career against the Ravens, has had some outstanding games against the Ravens. He and Chase, some outstanding games, man. You remember he has two, I think twice in his career, he's had 4 touchdown games against them. He's had a 3 touchdown game against them as recently as like 2021. He has had some really good games against the Baltimore Ravens. He's like 21 touchdowns to 5 INTs while playing now. 104, almost 105 passer rating against his team. And I think he's hungry. Will the rust be there? I think it's going to definitely be some rust there. But, him and Chase is happy to be back together. And I think that connection could really, really flourish today. I don't think there's anything the Ravens are going to be able to do about that part unless they get into Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Right? I think they're going to eat regardless. The real question is whether or not any of these health concerns pop up. Because if you've watched the Ravens since Lamar's been back, there's still definitely something wrong with him. Like he's not 100%. It's some hesitancy as far as some of the times when he would take off and run the football, or take that extra chance. He instead of getting to the first down marker, he might run out 2 yards before. Like there's something there. And the Chiefs gonna have to try to find a way to exploit it. Now on the flip side, I'm not the Chiefs. The Bengals have to find a way to exploit it. Now the Bengals, though, I think we both feel like that they're gonna definitely have to score some points.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely gonna have to score points in this one to keep up with Baltimore, which makes it interesting. But I don't know. You don't think it's gonna be a good game? I think it might be okay. I think they might be okay. Chase Brown started to cook a little bit, without Burrow,
Fair.
more competent passes going to probably open them up a little bit, catching those passes out of the backfield. And of course, being able to find some running lanes because those backers are going to have to try to help out in the middle a little bit. But I think it's going to be interesting, man. I think
That's
it's going
fair.
to be.
2 touchdowns might have been I'm going to say 10 points. I'm going to say 10 points. 2 touchdowns might be a little rough.
So what's your score?
So the Bengals have given up at least 26 points other than the first game of the year and every other game. 31-21 Baltimore.
31-21 Baltimore. So Don got the Ravens 29-27.
Yeah, he said with a winning Flowers with the winning TD. Do you mean like last second winning TD? Like is this as the clock expires we catch it?
They did this on the last drive.
Right.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't want to sit there and straddle both sides of the fence because we've seen stranger things, right?
100%.
I'm gonna take the Ravens, but would I be surprised if Cincinnati is somehow in this football game in the fourth quarter? I wouldn't. It's just that, he's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You got Chase. The Ravens, even though they're playing a lot better, they still are not the Ravens, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, no.
The Ravens. But I think if nothing else, the Ravens will be able to move the football on the ground. I don't think the Chiefs can do anything about that. They're giving up 156 yards per game.
Yeah,
I didn't think anybody could be in the Buffalo Bills range. I'm like, golly, like they are giving up mad yards on the ground, and it seems like Derrick Henry, just give him the daggone football. You know what I'm saying? Like, he needs 18 yards now to pass the great Jim Brown for 11th.
Oh, okay.
For 11th all time. So that's imminent. That's going to go down. So I think the inability to stop the run game, which would do Cincinnati in. So I'm going to say the Ravens are going to win this game. And I'm saying it's going to be 28-20.
Okay.
That's the score. I'm going to give it 28-20 for the Ravens. So what's we got here? He said nail biter.
I want to say your score ain't too far off from mine.
Interesting. So let's see. Now we sitting here talking this. And I mean, we sitting on it. Tonight is over, and Joe Burrow then threw for another 4 touchdowns. I'm just saying. Rustin Hall. I'm just saying.
It's possible. To be honest, it's very possible. I don't personally see it, but if it happened, you're not gonna see me here next time we talk. Like, dang, I can't believe it happened. I'm just well, sound about right.
Indeed. So that's today's games. And of course, we have the Black Friday matchup that is going down tomorrow. And hey, we want to see what the Chicago Bears is about. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, this is the fraud watch game.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely find out. And for those of you that weren't already aware, the game is on Amazon Prime. It's on Prime. So don't go to your local TV just looking for this bad boy because you're not gonna find it. So
unless you live in like the Chicago or Philadelphia area, they might, because I know like even when the Packers are on like Prime or on Monday Night Football, of course they're going to show it on ABC, but like Prime and stuff, they still show it on a local station. So if you're
Right.
lucky to stay in Chicago or Philly or like the surrounding areas, you might still have it local, but don't bet on it.
Yeah. So you got to either break out the Prime account, break out the Fire Stick, legal means.
We ain't here to judge how you watch.
Yeah. Or head out to your local sports bar, get those folks some business. Like, that's how you're gonna have to get down. So
you might be fighting crowds if you do that route.
Yeah. So the Bears coming back after a thrilling 31-28 win over the Steelers last week. And we saw Caleb Williams go out there and perform. He didn't play well the whole game, but he had his spurts in it, and then he still got 3 touchdowns in there. And they're on a 4-game win streak. So they're taking it into Philly, which is not an easy place to play football. A team that's got its issues and has to be thoroughly upset about what happened to him last week, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. This is crazy. We're gonna find out about the Eagles too, though.
Also true. You might find out more about the Eagles than the Bears, depending on how this game goes. So that is very true.
Yeah, you got to wonder what's going to. Bears is playing carefree football. You got the coaches out here having fun. He's got his offense, going the way he wants to go. You got a defense that's taking the ball away from people, which has a lot to do with that 8-3 record. And that's the main thing that I'm watching for in this game, because you got a team that takes the ball away, and then you got a team, until last week, didn't really give the ball away. Especially Jalen Hurts not giving it away. Now, Philadelphia last week went on a turnover spree. They couldn't hold on to the football to save their life, whether it was, Barkley, whether it was on a return, whatever. So they can't duplicate that this week if they want to have a chance to beat Chicago.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, you're talking about Chicago's defense and how they're taking the ball away. That's all they're doing. Like, outside of that defense is bottom 5 in the league. And I think, if we're talking yards, for sure, they're bottom 5 for sure, rushing, and it might be bottom 5 in points. I was trying to double check that real quick now.
Yeah.
All right, they might be just out of the bottom 5 for that. I think they're bottom 6. So if they're not getting the ball for a turnover, that's not a good defense. And so I think that goes a long way in why people are like, I just don't know if this Bears team is for real or not. Because even looking at who they've played and who they've beat, and I don't take that into full account, because it's not like this isn't college. You can't go out there and make your schedule. The league makes your schedule, so you just got to play who's in front of you.
True.
It is what it is. But in terms of confidence, the product on the field, especially on the defensive side, just don't give you a lot of confidence. They're in a lot closer games than they should be, because maybe they're just not getting the ball this game. And so offenses are running up and down the field on them. True. And when Philadelphia's offense is hot, it's hot. That's a worrisome thing to deal with. Are they going to be as forthcoming with turnovers this week? I don't know. This is going to be a very interesting game. And like you said, I think you're going to learn a lot about both teams. Maybe you learn more about the Eagles than the Bears, but we'll see.
Yeah, I really believe if the Eagles lose this game, people will start thinking about that slide. Remember that slide they had? What was it? Was it in 2023?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And you might say, well, that'd be 2 in a row. But you think about it, it's a lot of these games, even the games they won, they haven't been playing that well offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They want to light up the scoreboard, and people are going to really be worried. So, they're probably still more likely going to win the division. That don't mean nothing.
Right.
If you're not playing well, if you're going to take that into the playoffs. But, yeah, this is like danger zone. Chicago could lose this game. I think the only thing that could hurt Chicago, and it would be more of a mental thing, if anything, is if they were to lose this game getting blown out. everything, that the wheels just fall off. They look terrible. They turn the ball over 4 or 5 times. They can't stop anything, and they get beaten by double digits. And I think then, even though you'll be sitting there at 8-4, still looking good to win the division, that may play on you mentally.
Yeah.
They go out here and lose this game and they don't get blown out. I don't know if they feel any different about themselves. Everything is still right there in front of them. We played well. We didn't win. We move on.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be something to watch. And I'll be honest with you. I was all set to take Chicago in this game. I mean,
Okay.
I was seeing in my head, I was like, yep. As I was talking about earlier, and them not turning the ball over, Chicago ironically gets a big turnover late in this game, taking the ball away as they always do, and that leads to a game-winning score, touchdown, field goal, or whatever. But I don't have good luck when I bet against Philly when they're playing at home.
That's fair.
And and I've seen them respond after losses too. And we've seen them respond a lot. Like, have you noticed? It's been a couple of weeks when the talk has been high in Philly about everything that's going on there. And that'll be the week that AJ Brown comes out and scores the first touchdown.
Yep.
Or gets 2 scores.
Yep.
You're going to hear it now. Where was AJ Brown? Where was AJ Brown during the second half of this game? You couldn't get him the ball. You couldn't do this. The loss to Dallas. So we are keeping an eye. I haven't seen anything about Devontae Smith though. Because he didn't practice for a couple of days this week, so I don't know if they've got him, whether or not he's going to play tomorrow, not or whether they're just holding him out. But he missed some days of practice this week.
Last I saw, he's still just questionable. They got a number of people questionable. Saquon was questionable, and I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any question whether or not he's. I think they had a couple offensive linemen that were questionable too. So it's like
secondary too.
Oh, I didn't even see the secondary one.
Yeah, we had with 2 people. One limped off the field, and then the other kid got hurt last week when they took him out of there. Yeah, they had some questions in the secondary. I haven't heard as much about it since Sunday though, so maybe they're gonna be fine. But there was definitely some issues there. So, but yeah, I was, like I say, I was gonna take the Chicago Bears, but I'm not. I'm gonna stick with my Philly pick.
Okay,
I'm gonna pick the Bears to actually hang tough in this. I'm going to pick them to hang tough just because I don't know what I'm going to get from that Philadelphia offense.
Right.
I'm not expecting, like maybe last year, I might have been expecting them, they about to drop 30 in this game. I don't know if Philly's going to give me that. So, but I'm going to take the Eagles in this game 23-20.
Okay. Our scores are very close. I'm thinking 25-20, but I'm going to Bears actually. I'm gonna pick the upset. I think they do get that 1 or 2 turnover that they need in order to make that game. It's too quick of a turnaround from that shell shock in Dallas. Like that, I think that loss, not necessarily the loss itself, but the way that it happened, being up 21-0 and just losing after that. It's too quick of a turnaround. I don't think that they were looking ahead to the Bears, and that's the reason why they lost. So I really think they got punched in the mouth. And with this being a short week, still having to deal with all those questions on top of obviously just the nature of the holiday and everything. People are trying to do the holiday while still getting ready for the game. I think it's just enough where they're not getting their bearings straight. And they come out here one more week and just sort of lay another egg.
Well, I ain't gonna be mad at that.
No, of course not. I figured you would love that.
Go Bears!
Right. I won't go that far, but you won't hear me utter those words. But
Don said they get the field goal. And Chicago wins it 27-25. I ain't mad at y'all. Let's go Bears. Bear down, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
did you know they're a top 10 offense?
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah, or Ben Johnson, man, he's got them cooking.
I see. Yeah,
He's
they
that
are.
cookie.
They just need to get that defense. And I know that has to be hurting Bears fans to hear that their defense is 27 overall and against and scoring defense. Like that has to be painful.
We can't never have two things go together.
Right.
Be very interesting. It's gonna be a very interesting watch, man. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Let me see if there's anything else we need to clean up. No, that's it. Like I said, I'll be doing what I do today. I'm also gonna figure out the games for Sunday, but it's gonna be a very entertaining game, man. Everybody watching. I hope that your team wins today, and that's just the Kansas City Chiefs. and that is no shade to the Kansas City Chiefs because I'll be rooting for them again the rest of the year after today.
Right.
So we know how that goes down. So lots of fireworks. I wonder who's if Post Malone is in Dallas. I wonder what they got going on in Detroit today. I wonder. I didn't even see.
Yeah, I'm about to see. It's so early. Let's see. Lions game halftime show. Let's see if they got anything. Jack White is doing it.
Who is Jack White?
Couldn't tell you.
That one is he one of them people like, I'll mess around and hear a song or two or something, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's who that is. I don't know.
They had a picture of him, and I'm like, I've never seen this man in my life.
Yeah, I'm looking now. Yeah, I don't recognize old Jack.
Lil Jon doing the Baltimore game. I want to watch.
I did. One. I had forgotten about that, but I did. I was on one of the podcasts, watching a podcast this week. I forget which one it was, and they mentioned that Lil Jon was supposed to be part of one of the shows. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. Lil Jon out here still doing his thing, man.
I thought he was in Europe still. Lil Jon been in Europe the past few years doing his he been at clubs and stuff doing those residencies over there.
He's in the business now, man. He's got I think I might have told Source this early in the year. He's got a reality show too, where he's one of the I can't think of the young lady's name, but he and the young lady I think they own a company, or they go in together, and when they redo houses.
Oh wow!
Like one of those shows that you see where you go in and it's on what channel is that? The
HGTV?
Yeah.
Okay.
And where they go in and people tell them, hey, we want to add a room onto our house, or we want to bring some more light to our house or whatever, and they go in there and they do all the stuff where you tell them what they want, and it's usually a lot of times he's on some of the shows initially, or sometimes the lady will handle it and then he'll check back in or whatever. This is what they want to do, and this is what I'm thinking, and they get together and yes, no, and all that. Then you see the final results. Pretty interesting. I mean, I watch stuff like that, especially especially when it's not football season. So
yeah, like I said, I know. Cause I know some friends who saw him in Europe, and they were like, "Yeah, I guess he's just been over there doing all these different tour residencies and being at these different clubs and whatnot." So I was like, "Okay."
Hey, they let me see, JB. What up, JB? Oh, he's talking about earlier on the time Prime and rooting for Mahomes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He said the wife says his show is on BET. Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
It might be. I know I've seen it a few times. I don't remember what channel I've watched it on, but yeah.
Right.
Okay. But it's a show.
YouTube TV, they'll just have it there and I ain't gonna hold you. Every time I see any type of construction show, I just assume it's on HGTV. So that was my fault.
Well, now, I watch enough HGTV, so I'm just saying. I told you guys would laugh when I was telling you the things that are on television, on ESPN and stuff.
Yeah.
And especially when it's not football, see the pillow fighting and all that stuff. I'll be the first to tell you. Outside of movies, I watch a lot of HGTV and shows like that too. When it's not football season. So I'm looking to the life of Prime. I will spend 2, 3 hours, 4 hours on a lazy Sunday, not leaving the house, watching that stuff. Watching the Bill stuff that I couldn't dream no forward. So
right.
I don't think so. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. And that DJ gig is good too. I know he's got to be getting the money. A lot of these people, Paulie D, these cats are just making a living DJing.
Mm-hmm.
Be surprised how much money these cats are getting, man.
Yeah.
That's to go do stuff. So But that is it, y'all. I hope everybody, has a outstanding Thanksgiving. Eat all you want, do all you want, safely drink all you want, do what you got
Yep.
to do. And did you got anything out there for the people?
Oh man, like you said, hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. I won't be doing much. Watching some football. Watching. I know we didn't talk college football, but tomorrow's gonna be a big day in college football too.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be watching a lot of that. But no, I ain't really got much. I'm chilling. Especially this week. This is holiday week, so I just wanted to chill and relax.
Yeah, and the same to you, JB. Hey, you and the family, man.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, bro.
Also, I will quickly say, not that some people are going to care, but I can. I know Source cares. But after the Cowboy, well, after the night game is going to be on, so the night people be watching that. But does any women's college basketball fans out there? They're in the middle of one of the Players Championship Invitationals. They do have the championship game tonight.
Ooh.
Two top 5 teams, University of Texas and South Carolina, will be on True TV at 8 o'clock. So there's been some entertaining matchups. We've seen Texas play, UCLA, all those were played in this invitational. But yeah, we have a championship tonight on True TV. So I will have that up at least on an iPad while the game is on tonight and checking that out. So number four against number 2.
College basketball just be playing whenever. It's a game going on right now on the men's and
Yep.
the women's side.
Yep. Oh, there's plenty. There's
I know they had a feast week this week. I swear games was on whenever.
Yeah. Because they have, even this one, they have it's a ton of games. Like we have interest here. University of Richmond is playing TCU later tonight. TCU, of course, has Olivia Miles now. They're on. Then there'll be the championship game or the consolation game from the tournament I was talking about earlier.
Yeah,
So,
Duke playing
I
UCLA
believe
in
that's
that one,
going to
right?
be is it UCLA and Duke, I think. But
Yeah.
UCLA and Duke will be on later. So a lot of women's action on men's and women's action. But I'm definitely going to be tuned in. I'm going to have that Texas South Carolina game. 2 of the favorites to win it all pulled up. 2 of the best coaches in the league pulled up, and I'm not missing that for anything. So
no, that's fair.
All right. But we appreciate y'all. Have Thanksgiving again, and those of you who are free about 11ish come Sunday, we will be back. So thank you. Y'all have a good one. Peace.